Brush FM News Bulletin at 12 is read by Jeremiah Moba, First Day Hellas. The Joint Security in Magibie County has arrested and forwarded Code 21 pricing for allegedly violating Governor Liberia COVID-19 health protocols. Representative Tipa Rosa Solomon Tapawell, Magibie Electoral District Number 1, has expressed grave concern over the slow pace of work that is being carried out on the expansion of the Rabat International Airport. On the national scene, the Senate Committee on Banking and Currency and the entire plenary of the Liberian Senate are poised to decide the reconfirmation of the executive governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, Elisha Talu, after his appearance to give reasons why he should continue as head of the nation's bank. And away the home from popular Nigerian televangelist DB Joshua is being buried in Lagos after a week of funeral activities. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail plus much developments. The Joint Security in Magibie County has arrested and forwarded to Code 21 pricing for allegedly violating Government of Liberia COVID-19 health protocols. The arrest was made in Kakata following vigorous enforcement of the COVID-19 health protocols instituted by the National Public Health Institute of Liberia and the Ministry of Health. Speaking to a cross-section of journalists, the Assistant Commissioner of Police in Magibie County, Colonel Sylvester Hina, noted the virus is deadly, and as such, every Liberian must abide by all preventive measures in curtailing the spread of the pandemic. In further, a total of 21 persons, including 5 females and 16 males, are arrested and forwarded to the 13 Judicial Circuit Court for prosecution. Colonel Sylvester Hina indicated that each of those arrested will have to pay 1,000 Liberian dollars into the Government Liberia revenue account before being released. In further, the Assistant Commissioner of Police noted that despite the lack of logistics that is harboring the spoon operation of the joint security amidst the resurgence of the global pandemic, they remain committed to performing their duties. Representative Tipa Rosa Samontampo Wade of Magibie Electoral District Number 1 has expressed great concern over the slow pace of work that is being carried out on the expansion of the Rabat International Airport. In his communication to the plenary of the House of Representatives, Representative Tampo West said, since the only international airport road expansion and pavement contract was awarded to the East International Company, little work has been done on the road, especially with the absence of adequate equipment to especially implement the project. The Magibie County District will lawmaker alarm the increase in death rate along the route, traffic congestion, and the hardship commuters face while applying the airport highway. On February 20, 2020, there were lots of duplications and assessment from many Liberians as they witnessed President George Weah program for the expansion and pavement of the Rabat International Airport Road Corridor, valued at the US 94.5 million. But on the flip side of the coin, after the government of Liberia awarded the contract to Eve Construction Company, there have been multiple concerns about the contracting company's ability to properly implement the multi-million dollars project, especially with the company having a detailed performance record. With less machinery and equipment and funding yet to be detailed and explained, remains a major doubt lingering on the minds of many Liberians. Information gathered has unveiled that the East International Construction Company has failed to perform several projects, including a pre-financing agreement with the government of Liberia in 2017 to pave 30 feeder roads as part of the feeder road project across Liberia. For refusing to reinstate 5 pregnant girls that were suspended by the Booker Washington Institute months ago, a group honored the banner movement for accountability, transparency, and equality, Magibie, has threatened a peaceful demonstration in demand of the suspended students. The demonstration, according to the group, is expected to take place on Monday, July 12, beginning at 7 a.m. at the main entrance of the Boca Washington Institute in Cacata, Miami County. Speaking in an exclusive interview with our correspondent in the county, the group chairman on Bureau of Press and Propaganda, Gabriel Kule, said the suspension of the 5 pregnant girls by the BW administration violates the students' right to equal education and opportunity. As such, should be condemned in a stronger tone. Mr. Kule said the BW administration in the group press release were given 72 hours ultimatum to reconsider their decision, a statement which he said has been overlooked by the administration, noting they have been left with no alternative but to vehemently and democratically move into history through Article 17 of the 1986 Constitution, which talks about peaceful assembly amid grievance. He said the assembly is aimed at calling on the administration of the institution to reconsider her decisions taken on the suspended pregnant girls. He laments that Martin will take into consideration the health protocols and will abide by the health guidelines of social distancing, wearing a mask, and using hand sanitizer, among others, during the day of the assembly. Meanwhile, our correspondent in the county is making all effort to get in touch with the administration of the Booker Washington Institute. A Ghanaian actor, Joseph Van Beeker, has donated a certain medical supplies to the St. Joseph Catholic and SDA Cooper hospitals in Monrovia, making available the medical supplies to the hospital's management on Thursday at the hospital's company in Concord Town. Joseph Van Beeker said there have been too many news of increase in the cases of COVID-19 patients in Liberia, something which prompted him to get involved in the process of empowering the hospital. According to the 2008 Africa Movie Academy Awards winner, he is in Liberia to create awareness on the existence of the virus, thus calling on every citizen to adhere to all the protocols being instituted by government of Liberia and the National Public Health Institute of Liberia. Van Baker intoned that he is aware of the many challenges faced by the health sector in Liberia, especially getting materials to help ease their work. He made available several personal protective equipment, hand sanitizers, among other things, to the administration of both St. Joseph Catholic Hospital and the SDA Kobo Hospital in Monrovia. Receiving the item, one of the nurses from the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital, Lord Joseph Van Baker, for the donation, citing the material came at the time they needed it the most. As part of efforts to supplement government strength in the fight against COVID-19, Metal Liberia has donated 25 oxygen cylinders, 50 regulators, and 2,000 COVID-19 test kits to the Ministry of Health. Making a presentation on behalf of the company Thursday, the head of government and community relations at the Metal Liberia, Mr. Mark Clawler, said the gesture is part of effort to augment government effort in battling the deadly variant of the hemophilia disease. Mr. Ware recounted the long-standing relationship between the company and the government of Liberia in the area of emergency health response. It can be recorded in 2014 during the heat of the deadly Ebola epidemic. Method experimented with the Ministry of Health in responding to the Ebola virus, thus dispersing US 24 million to the government of Liberia in combating the Ebola disease. Meanwhile, Mr. Michael Well is urging the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Health to use the 2,000 testing kits to rapidly conduct coronavirus tests across the nation. However, taking delivery of the item, Liberia's chief medical officer, Dr. Francis Kettet, acknowledged the importance of the gesture and extended appreciation to the management of the settlement for the donation. Dr. Kettet, however, expressed delight and reassured a settlement of the government's willingness to cooperate with court in fighting coronavirus. A national non-governmental organization serving humanity for empowerment and development with support from the European Union has purchased and donated a consignment of essential drugs to four prison facilities, including Kakada, Bondiway, Bangat, and Saniquale prisons. The drug value of over 14,000 United States dollars was donated Tuesday at Shea's office in Pineville and will be used in treating malaria, skin disease, infection, STIs, test kits for hepatitis, sanitary pads for female inmates, nose masks for use by inmates, and other common diseases being experienced by inmates at the four prison facilities. Making the donation to the Bureau of Corrections and Rehabilitation, the Executive Director of SHARES, Ms. Joyce Patibot, expressed thanks to the Bureau of Correction and Rehabilitation through the Ministry of Justice and other government institutions, including the Ministry of Health, for the strong collaboration in the implementation of the European Union funded project titled Strengthening Democracy and Respect for the Fundamental Human Rights of Prisoners in Liberia. Madam Patibo said the donation is yet another consignment for use by inmates in the four correctional facilities in three counties, Mike Bond, and Nema. Receiving the drugs on behalf of the BCR, the Director of the Bureau of Correction at the Ministry of Justice, Reverend Samuel Sanlisi Kwada, said on behalf of the Justice Minister, Councillor Frank Musadin, and the Assistant Minister for Correction. He was happy to receive the donation of the drugs. This new broadcast comes to you from News and Current Affairs Department of Brush Communication Network. We broadcast on the sound frequency of 94.7. The Civil Law Court in Monrovia has made an adjustment on the day it will hear Mr. Siddiqui Musa Ability's request for permanent custody of his two minor children from his divorced wife, Wati Nancy representability, after the court found that Nancy did not file her return to Siddiqui's bill of information. Mr. Ability's lawyers have asked the court to award him full and permanent custody of his two minor children since their mother Nancy has a not or no favorable relationship with the case, emotional, psychological, mental, physical health, stability, and well-being, safety, and security. His lawyers contended that after the divorce was granted, the parties, Nancy celebrated on Facebook with her friends and even paraded her pregnant stomach on Facebook to the whole world, adding that it is only proper for the court to award Ability permanent custody of the children. However, the court said at the court of the case for hearing of the bill of information on Thursday, 8 July 2021, it observed that Nancy's cousins had not filed their return to the bill of information. Therefore, the court reassigned Thursday hearing to Monday, 12 July 2021 at 9 a.m. because it said the matter involved the interest and well-being of innocent children. The Senate Committee on Banking and Currency and the entire plenary of the Liberian Senate are poised to decide the reconfirmation of the executive governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, Elisha Talu, after his appearance to give reasons why he should continue as head of the nation's bank. Appearing Thursday, July 8th, before the committee at the Capitol, Mr. Talu, who had occupied the post for a little over a year to complete the tenure of a predecessor, Nathaniel Patrick, spoke technologically innovation to move the CBL file. Speaking before the committee Thursday in the chambers of the Liberian Senate, he said, in light of the dynamic environment of the financial system, increased responsibility of the bank, coupled with technology, innovation, and competing priorities, the Board of Governors and Management approved a 3-year strategic plan launched in early May to enhance productivity and ensure effective use of scarce resources in achieving mandates of the bank. Mr. Taro spoke of expanding the scope of the regulatory function of the CBL, including lexing financial institution and digital credits to enhance services. Taking that's talking about loan scheme and policy. The CBL executive boss also mentioned the increase of the maximum amount of loan to be granted from US 7,000 to US 50,000 or 0.5% of the total net worth of microfinance deposit taking institution expansion of permissible activity. And away the home from popular Nigerian televangelist TB Joshua is being buried in Lagos after a week of funeral activities. Thousands of mourners are attending the burial service at his synagogue church, Old Nations, in the Akonto area of Lagos. Timantu Balogun Joshua was revered by people from around the world, and tens of thousands of people attended his weekly services. The charismatic spiritual rise to prominence in the late 1990s coincided with the explosion of miracle programs performed on Nigerian TV by various pastors. His ministry prefers to heal all manner of illnesses, including HIV and AIDS, and contracted people from around the world. Known as the prophet by his followers, he ran the Christian television station Emmanuel TV and often toured Africa, the US, the UK, and South America. Mr. Joshua came from a poor background and was brought up by his Muslim uncle following the death of his Christian father. Other popular Nigerian Mika pastors were missing from the week of memorials, highlighting the frustrated relationship he had with them. The Christian Association of Nigeria and the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria previously described him as the impostor who belonged to a group of occults that had infiltrated Christianity. To end the news here, once again, I did tell stories. The Jones Security in Miami County has arrested and forwarded to Code 21 pricing for allegedly violating government of Liberia COVID-19 health protocols. Representative Tipa Rose at Summon Tapo, where the Miami Electoral District number 1 has expressed the grave concern over the slow pace of work that's being carried out on the expansion of the Rabat International Airport. The Senate Committee on Banking and Currency and the entire plenary of the Liberian Senate are opposed to decide the reconfirmation of the executive governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, Alok Chotalu, after an appearance to give reasons why he should continue as head of the nation's bank. And away the home from popular Nigerian televangelist TB Joshua is being buried in Lagos after a week of funeral activity. Brush FM News at 12. Jeremiah Moba, good afternoon.